obviously, if we think back to what was that too, I got to look this up. What year did Spider-Man 3 come out?
Okay, I'm
Spider-Man
gonna go if it was in
3.
2004.
Oh,
Logically,
2007.
I was gonna say yeah, it would be about 3 years.
2007. Okay. So if you think back to 2007, I believe in May is when Spider-Man 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was not the most well-received Spider-Man film. It wasn't.
It was the dark horse of the Spider-Man family. I think it still is to a certain degree.
It was. Now, to be fair, I love Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I mean,
I
do
loved it
you?
too because as a kid, you notice like that was one of those movies where like everything was advertised for that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Like I think pretty sure like Papa John's, all the other commercialized
Yeah.
food industries were like advertising it. It was on TV commercials. It was damn near on everything, and
Right.
it was hyping the entire movie up, kind of like how Kong or King Kong, the Eighth Wonder of the World, the Peter Jackson one, kind of like that one. It
Yeah.
really like advertised it so much to the point where I was really excited for it, and I like got some of the memorabilias from the initial advertising. So I mean, I was really
For
excited for
Spider-Man
it.
3?
Yeah, I was really
Wow.
excited for it, and I liked it. I liked it at the time. I loved it, but as we grew up, we kind of noticed it was like, yeah, that this was poorly written. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
So I mean, it is what it is.
I don't think, I don't know. It's hard. I think a big piece of why that movie got so much crap was Venom,
It
because
was
I'm
Venom.
not gonna lie, Topher Grace is a very decent actor. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing really against him, but that incarnation of Venom sucked.
Sucked
Like
major
it
balls.
sucked. It was not. I don't know. Venom is supposed to be kind of big and hulking and overpowering to Spider-Man, and Venom was like a skinny, nasty. I mean, it was fine, but I don't know. I don't think it was the right combination. Topher Grace wasn't right for that role. Again, nothing against him, but he wasn't right for that role. And the writing was just bad. Like, I don't know. Like when he's got MJ and him and Harry are trying to help each other at the construction site or whatever, and the Venom suit like comes off of his face or whatever, and he's like, "I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you.
I'm
Like,
just gonna
go
hurt you.
for it." And it's just like it was that like strange. I don't know. It was very, very, very strange.
It
Uh,
was, and that Venom was probably one of the most controversial Venom, like most controversial iteration of Venom from the comics. And one thing people really didn't like was the design of him because they made him out just to be like him in a bodysuit. You know what I mean? Like it was just
right.
him in a suit, not
Yeah.
this oozing symbiotic monster that Venom should be. Venom should tower Spider-Man, and it was
Oh
like they're
yeah.
at the same weight class.
They were, yeah, they were
So
like the same. They were the same height. They were the same
yep,
like strength. It was strange. And that movie had its really cool things. Like I thought Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman was great.
he
I
is
thought
the
he was
only
a
one that
great
saved
Sandman.
the show or the movie. Sorry,
And he was also kind of the heart of the movie too.
absolutely,
Like
and that's
he
what
was
makes
a
it.
villain, but you kind of rooted for him in the end. You know?
Yeah, because he had like a decent backstory, and you understood why he had to do what he had to do. And it was interesting to like connect Sandman with uh him being the one that killed Uncle Ben. I didn't really like that. I'm not gonna lie, but it was cool to
See, I
like
actually
have that
thought that was
dynamic.
pretty good. I
Yeah,
really actually liked that piece of the plot.
yeah. It helped give more weight to Sandman whenever he's trying to acknowledge the wrongs he's done in his past. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it's a good lesson of like giving people second chances. It added like some complexity to the story. I actually really liked that. And the whole
Well,
thing
what
with
about
Harry, the thing with
yeah?
Harry had
I
been
was gonna
building
say
up
with
for 2 movies. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So that was also really good. It wasn't by any means a bad movie, but like you said, it's kind of the dark horse of the franchise. And there was a
It was the
um
last note. It was probably one of the first like superhero movie that had more than one or two villains
yes.
in a movie. So and obviously Sam Raimi was making an experiment with that. He took a chance, but it ended up being too clustered. I mean, as you can see here now with Spider-Man No Way Home, we're fucking what, tripling that, quadrupling that right now.
Yeah.
So again, this third Spider-Man film is gonna take a big leap.
It was a lot for that story.
It
was a lot for that story because not only did you have 3 different villains and their stories, plus the Uncle Ben redemption arc story, plus bringing Venom into the mix, plus being with Mary Jane. Plus, I mean, there were so many things, but you also had that. And you could make an entire movie about Spider-Man trying to like battle himself with the black suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it, like changing him. Like that could have been a whole movie in and of itself. But so this comes to us on Murphy's Multiverse, which is another really great source. Sam Raimi opens up on why he decided to direct the Doctor Strange sequel, even after Spider-Man 3's heavy backlash. I read this the other day and I thought it was pretty interesting. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. Let's do it that way. Director Sam Raimi is well known for directing the generally loved and well-received original Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire as the titular hero. While the first 2 installments of the trilogy were standouts in the early days of comic book superhero movies, I would argue that they're honestly 2 of the best comic book movies of all time.
I would agree.
I think Spider-Man 2 is in the top 5, up there with Endgame and Infinity War, of best comic book movies ever made. And The Dark Knight. Spider-Man 3 received overall poor reviews from both fans and critics. The negative reception and backlash to the sequel halted plans for Raimi to direct the 4th film in the franchise. However, he is back to tackle Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. In a recent interview, the director opened up about about the stress of returning to helm another Marvel film. I didn't know that I could face it again because it was so awful having been the director of Spider-Man 3. The internet was getting revved up and people disliked that movie, and they sure let me know about it. So it was difficult to take back on. Now, I kind of feel bad for Sam Raimi here. Like, people were wrecking him over Spider-Man 3. I know it was bad, but good Lord, it was not that bad. It wasn't.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't that bad, and you gotta admit,
he had some
pretty good. It wasn't a bomb. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the box numbers are, so I don't know if it was a bomb.
I don't mean a bomb in terms of box office. I mean it wasn't like the worst movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, I gotcha. But also, like, he's a pretty good director. I mean, if you look at his catalog, he's a pretty solid director. And Don't Breathe, he directed that.
Yep.
He also did The Priest and of course the Spider-Mans. And
Sam Raimi did Evil Dead.
He did Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Sam Raimi is the creator of Evil Dead.
Yeah. He's my favorite. That's one of my favorite horror movies since getting into horror movies. It's one of my favorite horror movies. And I love Sam Raimi. But back then, we didn't really keep track of these directors. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was just all right, cool.
I mean,
cool movie.
You don't think about stuff like that when you're younger.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, thinking back now, and now that I can appreciate the movies for what they are, I mean, Sam Raimi, he did a pretty solid job in regards to that trilogy.
I agree.
The Spider-Man 3 obviously didn't hit it home. But the thing is, it wasn't supposed to hit it home. They were just supposed to build more of what Sam Raimi was trying to do. And obviously that didn't catch, and they had to scrap it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, let me get these comments. Art, what's going on, my man? He says, hey, Brad Miguel, sorry I didn't get my notification, and I'm watching Saw 6 and drinking a beer. Did I miss the Halloween Ends news? No, you did not. I think we're going to save the Halloween Ends news for the end of the show. I know Miguel's got to hop out of here a little early, and we're going to try to keep it about an hour or so. He also says, you guys look vibrant tonight with your purple Halloween and Hawaiian shirt.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I was tempted. I wore this to the Jimmy Buffett concert and wherever the fuck it's called, Riverbend. Yeah, and good old Cincinnati. Hey, man, you couldn't ask for a better day, so there you go.
Definitely. So let's read on here. The Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson ultimately backed out of the sequel due to creative differences. We've talked about that on the show before. Scott Derrickson wanted more of a horror rated. He wanted this film to be rated R. and Marvel was like, we don't. You
Nah, we
can,
don't.
but we don't. While the sting of Spider-Man 3 has certainly not gone away, Raimi ultimately decided to tackle Multiverse of Madness after learning that it had an opening. And this is another direct quote from Sam Raimi himself. My agent called me and said they're looking for a director at Marvel for this movie, and your name came up. Would you be interested? And I thought, I wonder if I could still do it. They're really demanding those types of pictures. And I felt, well, that's reason enough. I've always really liked the character of Doctor Strange. He was not my favorite, but he was right up there with the favorites. I love the first movie. I thought director Scott Derrickson did a wonderful job, an incredible job. So I said, yeah, they left the character in a great place. I didn't think I would be doing another superhero movie, but it just happened. So obviously he wasn't planning on coming back to Marvel, but I think real quick, in case I don't know how you don't know, but with the Spider-Verse thing happening, and with the fact that Tobey Maguire's Raimi's Spider-Man universe is kind of going to be a part of the MCU now, I think it makes sense to bring him in. I think that's probably why his name came up, because A, he directed the Raimiverse. He was the Spider-Man creator.
The Raimiverse.
The Raimiverse. And I think he's ballsy enough. If you look at Sam Raimi's movies, they all have a little bit of balls to them. And I think Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to be one of those Marvel movies that is going to go there. I think it's not going to be rated R, but I do think that it's going to be way darker than most of the other installments.
Yeah, I would agree 100% because he's not dealing with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard for Sam Raimi to do his Sam Raimi thing with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He made a great film, but he didn't lay down what he's known for in that movie. This, on the other hand, Multiverse of Madness, and the sound and feel of this movie sounds like it could be a horror-esque movie, which is something Sam Raimi does really well.
Right.
Look at Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. Both are so suspenseful and so filled with horror that, like, it sounds like it's right up his alley.
Yeah.
And I don't think how can I put this? I'm not concerned with Sam Raimi directing this movie. Is that fair? Would you agree with that assessment?
Oh, I think he's a perfect pick.
Yeah,
I really do. I think he's one of my favorite directors. I mean, I think he's one of those directors that is unique. He always comes up with something unique, whether it's Spider-Man or whether it's Evil Dead. I mean, I think he obviously had a vision for this movie.
Yeah.
Or else he wouldn't have said yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. I feel like he wouldn't have just hopped on and been like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it sounds like he was like, I really didn't plan on doing this, but there was a reason why he came back. I had this in the back. I think there is definitely a reason that he came back.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Honey, get my notebook.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is certainly a massive and highly anticipated film within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While Raimi's work on Spider-Man 3 may always remain infamous, taking on the challenge to direct the Doctor Strange sequel could serve as the director's redemption story for superhero films.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
second
redemption.
entry.
Yeah.
The second entry in the franchise is currently eyeing a March release. So there you go.
Next year, 2022?
Of next year, yes.
Okay, cool.
So we have Venom, obviously, which is obviously a multiverse type deal, and then we have Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is set to come out after that. And apparently, I mean, from what a lot of industry insiders have said, I believe Daniel Rickman said this. The guys at Giant Freaking Robot have said this. They were like, if you think Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be like insane, you have no idea what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to be like.
Because
like insanity.
You
like
have not seen
blow your mind.
You have not seen the What If episode of Doctor Strange. If you if you guys have seen that one, you guys will understand this Multiverse of Madness is gonna fucking rock our minds. Just from that episode alone, from What If, like the story that they played out with Doctor Strange, shit got dark. Like it
Yeah.
got dark really,
Oh, I
really
had
quick.
to. Are you talking about the one where he fought himself and he kept trying to go back and save the lady?
His girlfriend, yes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
seen
I
that?
did see. Yeah, I watched
Oh,
that
okay.
one. Yeah, it was
Well,
good.
yeah, it was
It was
good,
good.
and that's just the tip of iceberg of what Sam Raimi could possibly do. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm really excited.
Wholeheartedly, man. Yeah, me too. I think he's the perfect pick. You know what else a lot of industry insiders have said, dude, is that the multiverse is not going anywhere. That it is going. This will be like this will be the thing, like the Infinity Saga, like Thanos and the Infinity
The
Stones and
Multiverse Saga,
the Infinity War. That this will be like the Multiverse Saga. And I don't know, man. You said this on a show probably about a month and a half ago. I really have a feeling that we're building towards like the next Infinity War level thing is going to be Secret Wars. Like
I'm sure it will.
I really think that that's where we're heading.
But it's gonna be a while, man.
It's probably gonna be a while. I mean, it's gonna be.
Before we even get hints of a possible Secret Wars.
Yeah, well,
because
I mean,
we need to add so many people. Yeah, if you look at the roadmap, you can see that they're building up the universe again after the events of Endgame. I don't know if you heard, but Disney just released that there's currently 23 other films in production already. I'm just like, Doc, jeez, you guys don't sleep.
Dude, these people at Disney who write the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, I feel like it could be 2 a.m. and they're like, they're laying in bed asleep at night and they're just like,
I got an idea.
They're just sitting there typing with their laptop open, like while they're sound asleep.
Yeah, Kevin Feige's like Jeff Bezos in Amazon. Like he keeps track of your bathroom breaks. He says, "I need you back in this office writing a fucking baller story right now."
Kevin Feige goes to leave for lunch. He's like, "I'm gonna go get a cheeseburger. I better have a script when I come back." Dude, that's the other thing about Sam Raimi though. Is you got to think Kevin Feige didn't join Marvel Studios when the MCU began. Kevin Feige has been a producer since Spider-Man in 2002. I mean, Kevin Feige's been with Marvel, not just Marvel Studios with Disney, with Marvel since the very beginning. So, I mean, Kevin Feige...
He climbed the totem pole.
He did climb. He really did. He climbed it. But Kevin Feige wouldn't have given this back to Sam Raimi if he didn't have faith in him.
Absolutely.
Especially with something as big as Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because it's going to be such an influential film in the whole cinematic universe moving forward. So that's it.